I'm Manuel Sara, co-founder of SIRS Architects, and we designed the Gilbert and George Center here in London. We started working on this project in mid-2015, and approximately a year later, Rupert got in touch about a potential collaboration. Our main ambition of the project has been seeking to immerse visitors into the unique realm of Gilbert and George throughout a cinematic sequence of spaces and through every built detail. The project was all about making Gilbert and George's art accessible and also to create a permanent London home for their work for visitors from close and afar. The Gilbert and George Center is the ultimate fulfillment and an extension of their art for all ethos. It therefore seemed logical to create a digital twin of the physical space, enabling virtual access for everyone across the globe. The original building dates from 1820. It used to be a former brewery building. In order to be able to convert the building into a contemporary art foundation, we had to add two extensions, one above ground and one below ground, which was a completely new level. We're currently standing at -5 meters below ground, and we had to excavate the volume of half an Olympic swimming pool to achieve this. By combining historic, restored, and contemporary features, the project honors the building's industrial past, but is equally a building of the future. The center hosts 3 gallery spaces of distinct size and feel, a courtyard with a film room, a reception, an in-house art storage facility, and a separate caretaker's apartment. Using the latest technology has been a fundamental part of our design practice. The building itself uses a number of cutting-edge technologies. One of them is a BMS system, which lets you control and fine-tune all the building technology components. The second is a sophisticated lighting system, which lets you create different lighting atmospheres and also simulate daylight. And the third is a Bluetooth lighting control system. The building has been designed with sustainability in mind in order to reduce the resources of energy and materials. Some examples of sustainable principles include the creation of the building with a high thermal mass, harvested rainwater, permeable paving, photocatalytic paints. The physical building was rebuilt by Preview in a digital gaming engine with the help of a Matterport scan and a 3D model. It was very important that the virtual replica would be recreated in all of its details, but equally that the room atmospheres would be as realistic as possible. Our objectives of using Preview have been the following: content creation of exhibitions prior to the launch to the public, the use of the software for creation of upcoming and future exhibitions, and showcase current exhibitions to a global audience through a virtual medium. In addition, we wanted to facilitate access to past exhibitions for study and research purposes. And last but not least, we couldn't resist the temptation to create a digital replica of the living sculptures themselves, which can hopefully enable them to live on forever.
I'm Daniel, the Operations Director here at the Gilbert and George Centre. Gilbert and George in 1969 created an iconic piece of art and one that's gone down in art history called the living sculpture. One of the many aspects of the project that we loved was the fact that we could film and record Gilbert and George, and by using the software created with Preview, include them in each of the future stills and films that we create, and this idea of Gilbert and George living on forevermore in our films and stills.
We are always in our pictures, like everyone is in their letters. Whoever they write to, they will always sign it with their name, whether they write it to their mother or the bank manager. It is always a letter from them. And in our case, our pictures are love letters from us to the viewers.
It was quite extraordinary the day that we were walking the streets of London in the evening, and we found out more and more that we could be the art and the subject of our art. And that's when we became the living sculptors.
We are constantly being asked about legacy. It is not a thing we think about in that way. We prefer the term legover. But if we are thinking of legacy, then yes, we want to live forever. Everyone would like to live forever. You can walk the streets of any city in the world and stop a stranger and say, Charles Dickens. Whether they've read a book or not, something of that dead man's message in life will come into their mind. Or if you say Vincent van Gogh, whether they've seen a show or a book of his pictures, doesn't matter. Something of that dead man's life will enter their life. That is the force of culture.